Hello out there. Hello. I am so happy to be back in front of you guys. Thank you for clicking on the video. This is me again. I am James Caldwell. I am getting ready to do my review on season 6, episode 3 of RuPaul's Drag Race. And I'm so glad that you did click on the video. I'm very excited. I had a good time last week at what they did on the drag race. So I couldn't wait, and I was really anticipating what was going to go on this week. And it really didn't disappoint. It was a good episode. Well, child, let's just jump right in. They started reading right away. They actually came into the room when the last episode had actually ended. They had come into the room, and there was the 6 other whores from the first week, and then they merged with the new 6 girls, and that left 12. So they just got right in, and they did a little fake hugging thing that the queens do, and then they really got down to it, baby, and they got to read and carrying on. Somebody said in the confessional that someone looked like it was Trinity Bonet. Trinity Bonet said that the one child, she had a black and white outfit with a real big black and white hat on, and Trinity said that the bitch looked like the Hamburger's wife. And I fell out. And then there was some conversation going on between Bianca and Gia Gunn. And she called Gia Gunn Kamora Lee Kardashian. I said they're not playing nice at all. The guest judges this week was Linda Blair and actually Lena Headey. They did a whole thing about scream queens and horror movies and that kind of thing. So that was the theme. So Linda Blair was actually really a perfect guest judge for that. But when they started in, we did the mini challenge naturally. When they got into the mini challenge, this challenge kind of bothered me because again, this is where I kind of differ. Some things I just will never be comfortable with the drag race or just drag in general. The whole conversation of being half in drag, half out of drag, it just bothers me. And I don't know that I'll ever actually become comfortable with that. But I'm old school, so it is what it is. When you take away the illusion and you start talking about too much, it just kind of kills the illusion. But anyway, with the mini challenge, they did this whole thing where one queen, 2 queens, they had to pair up from each of the different groups. They had to pair up with someone from the opposite group. One would lay down flat on their back, and they would be the legs. The other person would straddle them, and they had like a cover over them, and they would actually be their legs. And it was like this kind of beach setting type of who wears short shorts kind of thing like that. It was meant to be funny. But the thing that I didn't care for is like, okay, so now we're watching these drag queens. You're putting their ass in our face. And here we go. Some people are tucked, some people aren't tucked. Well, I really don't want that all in my face. I don't need any... Oh, how do I say this nicely? I don't need any cock in my drag. So there you got that now. I don't know no nicer way to say it. There's just 2 things that I'll never, ever forgive for when it comes down to drag or being in the ballroom scene. And if I see you giving a bad tuck, you'll get zeros from me. If your wig is falling off during a performance, you'll get a bad score from me. I'm old school. Those things I'll never forgive. If you can't tuck properly and you can't put a wig on and it stay on your head, you don't need to be doing drag. So let's just move right on. It were bad tucks. And that whole part, yet some of it was funny. You know, every time certain ones open their legs, it just wasn't funny to me anymore. It was like, yuck, yuck. Anyway, Milk and Adore actually won the challenge. So that was cool. And then we moved on and they picked teams. They got to pick their teams. They literally picked their same teams all over again. So the final challenge was actually going to be them creating a short movie, like basically a movie. It was more than a trailer because it kind of just like ran through the movie, but it was like an extended movie trailer. And it was called Drag Race Me to Hell. And it was like a horror movie. One was going to be set in the 60s and one was going to be updated and set in the 80s. So I was like, okay, this is going to be interesting. So Team Milk's team got the 60s, and Team Adore got the 80s. Team Milk consisted of Bianca, Darian, Courtney, Joslyn, Trinity, Bonet. Team Adore consisted of Laganja, Creme, Gun, April, and Vivacious. So I was like, okay, this is going to be interesting, and here we go. So they came out. They did their movies, and I have to say the '60s movie was just flawless. It was very enjoyable. It was set in black and white. I loved it. It was hilarious. It really was. It was like watching a spoof of like the original Psycho. So it was kind of, I enjoyed it. I really did. They did a good job on that. And then the '80s one was basically really horrible. It just the acting was bad, and it was horrible. And there were some people who actually stuck out. And the '60s one, Bianca stuck out. She was really good, and Darian took a very small part, and she really worked it. She was a head in a box. That was it. So she had none of her body to work with. All she worked with was her face. So everything was relying on her expressions and the way she pronunciated things and like that. And Darian, she really did a wonderful job with such a small part. And she actually ended up being the winner of the challenge overall, over everything, which was good, and it was warranted. And I was very happy for her because she did a wonderful job. On the '80s team, though I did not care for theirs, the acting was bad, really bad. There were some good and there was some bad there because actually Laganja was good. So she actually got stuck with the wrong team, but she was really good. Creme wasn't bad. She really wasn't. She wasn't bad. She had like the best scream. She like had to scream and run out, and she did that. She did the hell out of that. Vivacious was just terrible. She was terrible. She's not an actress at all. She was really terrible. She was out of her element, and it was very evident that she was out of her element. Didn't care for it very much. Let's go to the actual runway walk. When they hit the main stage, they had to do your best drag. That was what it was. It was your best drag. So it was things that they brought or whatever. They hit the main stage. Let's just start off with the queen. Let's start off with Rue. Oh, Rue. Rue had on a black sequin gown. McCall's pattern number 3569. Okay, no sleeves, just a tank gown, straight down. It had red silk roses all in the midsection. Pretty. It was a pretty gown. But again, we've seen this gown 1,500 times. Now, what I did not care for, I don't know what she was actually going for. This is one of the times that you'll hear me say, I didn't care for Rue's wig tonight. Though, the wig was flawless. It was done flawlessly, but it was ugly. It was like she had a pump in the front, and the roots were black, and the hair was gray. It just wasn't, I don't know if that was, she was going for like, the Bride of Frankenstein kind of thing, like she was playing off of that or whatever, but I didn't care for it. And it really did age her. It wasn't a good look. I didn't really care for it. Let's move on to the contestants. Bianca Del Rio. She wore a black gown, long sleeves. It was very old Hollywood. It had a midnight blue over-exaggerated collar that kind of like engulfed the shoulders. Really pretty. And it had the edging to match at the hemline and at the bottom of the wrists. And she also had like a feathered pillbox hat with feathers coming out of it. She looked really good. She really did. Again, that face, not a pretty queen, but she could sew her ass off. And I'm sure she sewed that gown because she sews professionally. Very nice gown. Very nice gown. Courtney Act. She did a whole Australian thing. And let me apologize about Courtney Act. In my last video, I actually did make reference to the fact that I said Courtney was from the UK and she actually had an accent. I am so sorry, and I stand corrected. And I actually did have somebody that did left me a comment. That's why I love comments and straighten it up. I missed that. She is not from the UK. She is from Australia. So I do apologize about that. And I stand corrected. And I thank you very much for leaving that comment for me. I appreciate it. She is from Australia. She did an Australian themed gown. It was a strapless mermaid gown. The detailing was very good because she actually had long upper lip gloves that I absolutely love. I have always loved that look, that whole Josephine Baker look with the very, very long gloves and the strapless. That's always been a flawless look to me. I've always loved it since I was young. But she had that, and it was stoned very heavily, and it had her, her flag, her native flag, and all of that stuff on it. And then at the bottom, it was like the mermaid fluted bottom, and it was actually done in layers of tulle. Very cute, very cute. I love the whole idea of it. Her hair was done in an updo in blonde. She really looked good. She did. She looked good. And again, like I said, I apologize, Courtney, about messing up where you're from, darling. But she's from Australia, everybody. Joslyn Fox came out. She looked cute. She had a gold one-shoulder dress, very reminiscent of Studio 54. So that was like a nice flashback. I enjoyed that. She actually even had the headband. So very 70s driven. I liked it. It was very cute. Trinity K. Bonet. Trinity Kardashian Bonet. She came out and gave you pageant. She did the pageant thing. Mama's face was soft. Her hair was just very debutante. And it was a strapless orange and chiffon. It was strapless dress. Went from the lower hip and flared to the ground. Very pretty, very soft. Totally pageant. It was totally pageant. Really nice look on her. Only problem, she had a black bra that was actually showing in the top, which is something you got to always watch out for when you're not a queen that actually has real breasts and you're doing strapless. But her bra was showing. But we're going to let her make it because God knows how many takes they actually had to do. But Trinity, she looked very, very soft. She looked good. Milk. I don't know. For some reason, I just love this little queen because she just is crazy as hell. Miss Milk. She came out dressed as Pinocchio. Basically, a female Pinocchio. She had a flawless Vidal Sassoon bob that was just bone straight. I lived for the hair. She had the long nose on. Child, the bitch is crazy. The bitch is crazy, but I live for her crazy. And I usually don't like camp drag, but they called her Pinocchio. She was dead on. She was dead on. I loved her look. I thought it was very, very cute. It was very her. I love that this bitch is not afraid to be herself. And for some reason, she's just working for me. I liked it. I got life off of it. Next was Miss Darian Lake. That's our big girl. She's, again, pretty face. The gown, she had a gown on, and it was a mess. It was a total mess. It looked cheap. It came off looking very cheap. It was a tank type of a dress, covered. It had a beaded fringe. So it was all in silver. It had beaded fringe. She had a cape that was done in pleats hanging from the back. I didn't care for it very much. And the fact that the beaded fringe was really spaced out, and she's already a big girl, and it wasn't a fitted dress that didn't have any shape to it, and it didn't go to the floor. It kind of just went and stopped at her ankles. It looked cheap. It made it look very cheap. And then I looked down at those damn shoes. Another pair of Iola Boylans, but these ones actually had, it was a chunky heel, and it had rhinestones on it. Child, it was what I used to refer to as a pair of Sheboynkins. They were, those damn shoes. I can't take those shoes. But I still love Darian Lake. I think she's a beautiful queen. I hope she gets to stay for a long time. I think she's very talented. But I just cannot. Them damn shoes. I'm sorry. I would like it better if she had on a pair. They sell mules that you slide your foot in that has a little thinner heel that are very cute, and they are good for the heavier woman. She needs to get her some of those or something. I can't do these Iola Boylan pumps, honey. I just can't. Okay. All right. April Carrion was next. She had a outfit that was very much remind me of the Entertainer of the Year, the EOY system. It was themed, and it was all basically it had to do with like a rain, like the raincoat and thing. It was a yellow gown and basically a skirt and a top, basically put together. It was yellow, and it was very reminiscent of a raincoat. And then she had the matching umbrella, which was like the yellow patent leather, just like the dress and that. And it had blue fringe hanging down from the umbrella where it looked like she was walking through the rain. Very, very creative, very EOY. I liked it. It looked good on her. It was very youthful, and it just worked for her. It was like it went with her character. It worked for her. I liked it. I like what she gave this week. Laganja Estranja. She had a peach gown with silk flowers on it, a high collar, mermaid tail. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. We've seen this all before. Now, she did have a very interesting hat that was stuck to the side and it looked like a floral antenna. The hat was very interesting, but basically we've seen it before. So I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. It was cool. We can live with it. We'll let you make it. Gia Gunn was the next one. Gia Gunn had a Power Ranger cat suit on, and a headpiece. Very Asian inspired and all of this. Now, what I will say about Miss Gia, the bitch's face was painted. She was painted. Her face and hair looked beautiful. Her paint was just out of sight. The outfit did knock me out. She looked like a Power Ranger. Like Power Ranger. Adore Delano was the next one. A miss. It was a miss. She had a sequin and patent mermaid gown with no dynamics. The mermaid, the poof at the bottom wasn't poofed. It was really flat. It just was an outfit that really didn't go anywhere for me. She had this red hair again. This Little Mermaid red hair thing going on. When she came out, Michelle Visage called her a merwench. And Rue literally read her and said, honey, Raggedy Ann sure turned out to be a slut. And I fell dead to the floor. Dead to the floor. I said, okay. The look just did not work for me. Next was Ben Della Creme. And she came out dressed in as a pinup girl in a strapless bodysuit. She looked really, really cute. You know, no big dynamics. It was just cute. I told you I like her character. She's fun. So she just needs to continue being fun, continue doing what she's doing, and I think she'll be around for a while. I enjoyed it. The last person out was, God knows, Miss Vivacious. Child, Miss Vivacious, honey. Miss Vivacious came out with a cat suit. It's like a red cat suit with black cones on it. It was just horrible. Horrible, 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 horrible. Again, I understand she's trying to represent for the ballroom, the old ballroom, not the new ballroom, the old ballroom. I understand. But girl, she was giving me Godzilla continuity. It was a mess. I was sitting there waiting, baby, on her and Gia Gunn to just break out the fight, honey. Because it looked like an old episode of Godzilla. And I said, baby, and if Iron Man jumps in, honey, let's get it, honey. It just was a mess. I just couldn't. It was a mess. It was a mess. I can't get with her character. I don't know what that's about. But that was it. That was what came down the runway. Before we go to the bottoms and the tops, let's go to, I'm going to say a couple things here. Gia Gunn is a fucking airhead. Just so that we're clear. An airhead. And then she thinks it's cute. But it really isn't cute. It really isn't. She and that movie trailer, they did a confessional on her. This goon stands there and is talking about, well, I thought it was weird, that their movie was set in black and white and ours was in color, like someone had slighted them. Are you a dumb bitch? Their movie was from the 60s. That's why it was black and white. Your movie was from the 80s. That's why it was color, you goon. And then she turns around and they asked her the question, well, girl, do you think it has something to do with the fact that Yours was from the 60s. Theirs was from the 60s, and you guys were from the 80s. And the dumb bitch actually sat and thought about it for a minute and then turned around and said, well, no. I just had to get that out. Sorry. Gia Gunn is a goon. Okay? Period. All right. So, lip sync for your life. The bottom two was April Carrion, who played a lesbian in the movie. She was terrible. It was terrible. So that ended her in the bottom. And Vivacious was awful in the movie. It ended her in the bottom. They actually went and did Selena Gomez's song "Shake It Up." Vivacious, she performed. She actually did what it is that she does. April Carrion kind of smoked her. And the reason being, and I don't know how I really feel about this, because we're talking about Selena Gomez, who's like a Disney kid. Vivacious is 40 years old. Not Selena, I'm sorry. April is this young, cute queen. She stripped down. April had on like a bra top and a little hot short. And she's shaking it up and she's doing it. And she embodied what the song and the artist of the song is. She's young, she's pretty, and she's fun, and she knew the song and all of that. Vivacious, again, like I said, she's 40 years old, and I'm not excusing her, but she's 40 years old. She probably never heard the song before, but she knew it, she learned it, and she had all the words and everything like that intact. But it just was a thing. She wasn't going to be able to beat April because April embodies what that was all about. She's young. And it kind of seemed like a little bit of a mismatch. But at any rate, our girl Vivacious ended up having to sashay away. And I have to say, I know I've been pretty hard on her. I've been pretty hard on her. But she was gracious. The bitch was gracious with what she had to say about her time there and her time leaving. And I have to say, it was really nice to make her acquaintance, and I wish her the best. I don't know. I just don't think she was really cut out for that competition. But I understand what it is that she does and where she comes from and that kind of thing. So, like I said, it was nice to have made her acquaintance, and the bitch was really gracious. So, all in all, it was a really nice episode. I enjoyed it, and I will be waiting for next week to see what's going to go on with our drag race. So, like I said, that was it. That's my take on Drag Race Episode 3, Season 6. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, thank you for clicking on the video. Leave your comments, and I will talk to you guys next week. Alrighty, have a good one. Bye, guys.